time to get excited because we have just gotten a release trailer and date for Tomb Raider 4, 5, and 6 Remastered. This is awesome. I literally spent the whole day like vibrating in my seat with excitement, and I don't have anyone around me who cares. So they've just kind of been like, oh yeah, that's cool. I just want to nerd out though, and I've not had a chance to do that. Before I do, quick updates. I am making the video for tips and tricks on the Tomb Raider 1 speedrun achievement, but I'm heavily procrastinating on everything. I mean, I have a list of videos I want to make, but I'm just not doing it. The speedrun video, I actually have Peru and Greece done. I've just got to do the voiceover for it, and I did procrastination. I am still using my Switch though, so I'm pretty much stuck for the most part to 30-second clips, so that's making stuff considerably more difficult as well. But I am doing them. It's just procrastination, I guess. Anyway, the remasters are going to be released on February the 14th, again, Lara's birthday, so it's also the 1-year anniversary of the first remasters being released, which is pretty cool. It also means they must have been working on 4, 5, and 6 whilst they were still working on 1, 2, and 3, because especially with Angel of Darkness, there is so much that needs fixing in there. We did assume this was going to happen, or at least a lot of people did, because there was little hints in the first remaster. There was, I think it was Diving Area in Tomb Raider 2, where there was a screen that had like the original release dates for Tomb Raider 4 and 5, and I think there was something similar in Area 51. So I just kind of assumed it's going to happen at some point. I just didn't know when. I didn't expect them to include Angel of Darkness because of what a wreck it was. And I do want to explain, because I feel like there are a lot of people that don't know this. The fact that the game was such a mess is not the fault of the people who are actually working on it, the developers. It was the publishers, I think, who were forcing them to add a hell of a lot of crap in there and then giving them a deadline that made it impossible. So when it came down to the deadline, the devs were kind of like, we can't, and you know, it was pushed out anyway in its broken state. And that's kind of abbreviated and not word for word, but I did read a comment from someone who claims to have been a developer on that game who said it was kind of politics. But hopefully they can't release Angel of Darkness if it's still in the state it is. And obviously they're not going to change much of anything that's in there, so it's going to be interesting to see how it looks and how it feels. Because in the trailer, the clips that they showed, I think it was specifically a clip of Lara jumping around near the Mona Lisa, that character model looked very, very off. I don't know why. I'm excited to see Curtis. That's going to be weird, because even to this day, that is, apart from online gameplay from like Tomb Raider 2013, that's the only time that you've ever played as a character that's not Lara. He's a pretty integral part of the story. So I could do with them making that scene where he takes her guns a little less sexual. Even as an 8-year-old, I could feel there was something weird and uncomfortable about that scene. So I hate to think how 30-year-old me is going to feel about that, because it was pretty uncomfortable. It didn't need to be so touchy, you know? But whatever. I hope they fix. I say fix. I think it was probably the point with Curtis that he wasn't as flexible and couldn't do a lot of the things that Lara could. And if I remember correctly, he had an issue where he didn't jump as high. Honestly, I'll just be happy if I can leave Le Serpent Rouge without it crashing my Xbox. That's all I ask for that game. Everything else is just a bonus. I would love to see if they put back in some of the areas that have been removed and such in Angel of Darkness, like that training area that's still in the game. It's fully voiced and everything. It's just they put a gate up because I guess something about it wasn't finished. So there are certain parts of the game that are there that we just didn't have access to because they weren't finished. And hopefully they've been able to, you know, rework them and put them back into the game and make the game work. Like, I'm mostly speaking about Angel of Darkness here because that's the one that is going to be really interesting to see. Like, that will be make or break. I know that with the other games, we can trust the publisher. They've given us that. Who is it? Is it Aspire? Maybe? But they've proven that, you know, after they released the first set of remasters, we had issues with certain things. Like, I know that one of my biggest annoyances was that sometimes if you backed into a corner, the camera just lost its shit. They fixed that in the first patch. They were fixing things that people were bringing up as issues. So they were listening and they care enough to fix those things, which is awesome. So we can trust them. They clearly care about the game. So we're gonna get, hopefully, a pretty decent remaster of 4 and 5. I don't like the fact they're calling them 4 or 5. I know that is carrying that on, but literally Tomb Raider 4 was the first game that had an actual title. For anyone that doesn't know and is for some reason watching this video, Tomb Raider 4 was called The Last Revelation, 5 was called Chronicles, and 6 is called Angel of Darkness. But Tomb Raider 1, 2, and 3 were just 1, 2, and 3. You could call them the second and third game by their expansion pack names, which sometimes I've had people do, but generally it was just 1, 2, and 3. I am going to make achievement guides, which I feel like these are going to be a lot harder to do just by what I think will and won't be achievements in the game, and some of them based on where I know certain secrets are. For example, in, I think it's Last Revelation, there is a part where you have to play a game called Senate, and I've read the instructions for that game and I still don't know how to play it. It's confusing, but you intentionally have to lose that game to have access to 2 secrets. If you win the game, it cuts off that path. So I'm gonna have to figure out how that game actually works so that I can intentionally lose it, because I've seen all sorts of crap going on when it comes to Senate. It really confuses the hell out of me, but I guess we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. It's going to be the first game anyway. There's also going to be some interesting stuff for the new people that I saw the 1, 2, and 3 remasters bring in, which I didn't think there would be a new audience, but there is. So it's going to be great to sort of see their reaction to things like Pierre and Larson's ice cream date, you know? And I'm going to say, like, Larson could have survived what happened to him, but I have always been very, very confused about how Pierre managed to die twice, and he definitely dies in this game. That scene, for some reason, is something that's always stuck in my head. That part where he's like, oh, but you promised not to touch me. And then she just walks into the edge and just says, boo. For some reason, that has always stuck in my head. That random cutscene from that game. And I don't know why. It just, as a kid, I guess, amused me so much that she was like, haha, I don't need to touch you. And then she just says, boo! I'm a basic girl with basic needs, I guess. Like I said, we can trust the publishers. We know this is going to be good. It's going to be faithful to the original. They're just going to make it prettier like they did with the first 3 games. I'm really excited about it. If you don't count the remasters, the original game that I played most recently was Chronicles. A friend of mine found some disc copies of the PC version of Last Revelation and Chronicles, and he gave them to me. Last Revelation was too old. It didn't work on my laptop, but Chronicles did, and this was probably about 10 years ago at this point, but that's the one I've played most recently. Yet I don't remember much about it. I remember the terror of running away from the fucking Terminator. So there's that. And as much as people hate Zip in the Legend Anniversary and Underworld games, Zip is pretty much a stereotype in this game. Oh yeah, Zip's in this game, if you didn't play them. I guess that's a spoiler. I'm trying to not really say spoilery things, but that is kind of hard. I mean, these games are nearly 30 years old, which is another thing. I imagined that this was probably going to happen for the 30th anniversary, which is 2026. But instead, for the 28th year, we got Tomb Raider 1 to 3 remastered. And for the 29th year, we've got Tomb Raider 4 to 6 remastered. I can't wait to see what we'll get for the 30-year anniversary, because the 20-year anniversary was kind of crap. You can't just stick a zombie mode onto something and call it a day. I mean, for the 10-year anniversary, we got a whole new remake of the first fucking game. So, you know, with these remasters coming out though, no idea what they're going to do for the 30-year anniversary, but topping that's going to be very, very hard. I can't think of anything else really to say right now. All sorts of stuff's been running through my head all day as I've been thinking about this, but I think I've got the main stuff down that I wanted to say. So that's that. Hopefully now that I'm actually recording something, I'll record the goddamn intro to the speed running video. I'll do that now because, you know, I've at least done some recording. So maybe we'll get that video done. Hopefully. Maybe. I can't make any promises. Soon. Bye. It's better than what we got for the 20-year anniversary. Holy moly, my light went off. We'll get for the 30-year anniversary because... I'm sorry, is the word anniversary pissing you off or something?